Hey, good morning. Before we jump into today's trade plan, just a quick reminder that today is rollover and we're switching from the ES September contract to the ES December contract. And all the key support resistance zones today are for the ES December contract. That being said, let's jump into today's trade plan. So yesterday was a very balanced day. It was an inside day. So the overall context and the key zones haven't really changed much. On the upside, we have initial resistance at 67.25 to 69.5, and on the downside, we have initial support at 53.25 to 55.25, and then we have yesterday's RTH low at 56.5. Our short-term bias continues to be neutral, which means that we do have to assess the situation a bit more closely in real time and be open to both long and short setups. And in order to break out beyond initial resistance or break down below initial support, we will need to see broad market participation and sustained momentum in the direction of the break. A successful breakout above initial resistance would bring the open gap at 72.5 into play, followed by the 76 to 78 resistance, where responsive sellers can be active on first test, and then beyond that we have the all-time high at 84.75 to 86.75. On the downside, in the event that we get a successful breakdown below initial support, we'll have to be cautious at the 48.75 to 50.25 support because it is a minor area of support. And if we're seeing a lot of downside momentum, then the 41 to 44 zone would have potential to be tested. And that's still a spot where responsive buyers can be active on first test, especially if the market is exhausted into it. So given that yesterday was an inside day, more than likely we are going to either test beyond yesterday's high or below yesterday's low. It's unlikely that we're going to get another inside day. But in order to get a successful breakout beyond yesterday's high and beyond 67.25, 69.5, we do need to see that broad market strength and sustained upside momentum. And similarly, in order to get a breakdown below yesterday's low and below initial support, we'll need to see broad market weakness and sustained downside momentum. Aside from that, if you look over the last few rollover days, you can see that we tend to get back and forth price action. So a trending type move is lower probability on rollover, and the price action can be a bit choppy. So even if you get volatility, that volatility tends to happen within a range, and even in higher volatility environments, you can get bigger swings back and forth. So rollover days do tend to be balancing type days, but depending on volume and volatility, that balancing can happen in a wider range. So those are the main ideas heading into the open. Let's see how the market resolves the initial support and initial resistance zone. As long as we're trading within initial support, initial resistance, the market is in a very balanced state. And given our neutral bias, we do have to continue to be nimble and flexible with our real-time bias. And we will have to assess the situation in real time to see whether one side is dominant on the day time frame. Absent any clear signals of strength or weakness, the market can continue to be fairly balanced. So those are the main ideas. Let's see how the market responds to initial support and initial resistance, and we'll take it from there.